Welcome to African Today, the voice of a changing continent. We bring you the stories shaping Africa's present and future, from breaking news and bold analysis to culture, innovation, and voices on the ground. We're here to inform, inspire, and amplify the heartbeat of Africa every single day. Thank you for stopping by the channel. We hope you enjoy our video. Let's begin. Burkina Faso, a landlocked nation in West Africa, has experienced decades of political instability, economic hardship, and insecurity, largely due to jihadist insurgencies, colonial legacies, and poor governance. In recent years, the country has faced a dire crisis marked by the erosion of state control, displacement of millions, and the collapse of public trust. However, the emergence of Captain Ibrahim Traoré as the transitional leader in 2022 signaled a dramatic shift in the nation's trajectory. With a bold agenda to reclaim national sovereignty, eradicate terrorism, and revive Pan-African values, Traoré has become a symbol of defiance and hope in a turbulent region. A revolutionary rise to power. Captain Ibrahim Traoré rose to power through a popular military coup on September 30, 2022, ousting Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba. The coup was driven by deep frustrations within the army and the population over the government's inability to combat Islamist insurgencies that had claimed thousands of lives and displaced nearly 2 million people. Unlike his predecessors, Traoré presented himself not just as a military figure, but as a patriotic revolutionary committed to liberating Burkina Faso from neo-colonial dependencies. In his speeches, he has often referenced Thomas Sankara, the legendary Marxist and anti-imperialist leader of Burkina Faso, who led a progressive revolution in the 1980s before his assassination in 1987. Traoré's rhetoric echoes Sankara's calls for African unity, self-reliance, and resistance against Western exploitation. Sovereignty first, ending French hegemony. One of Traoré's most consequential decisions was to distance Burkina Faso from France, the former colonial power that had maintained military and economic influence in the country for decades. In early 2023, Traoré's government ordered the withdrawal of French troops and terminated a military cooperation agreement that had been in place since 1961. This move was widely applauded by Burkina-based citizens who viewed the French presence as ineffective and paternalistic. Traoré asserted that the country must regain full control of its security apparatus and resources. He also initiated the diversification of international partnerships, seeking cooperation with other nations such as Russia, Turkey, and China, signaling a pivot away from traditional Western alliances. Security and territorial recovery. At the heart of Traoré's agenda is the fight against terrorism. Large parts of Burkina Faso had fallen under the control of jihadist groups affiliated with al-Qaeda and ISIS. In response, Traoré launched a massive recruitment campaign, establishing a new volunteer army known as the Volontaires pour la Défense de la Patrie, VDP. The goal was to mobilize tens of thousands of civilian fighters to defend their communities alongside the national army. While critics have raised concerns about the training and accountability of these volunteer forces, many Burkinabe view this grassroots defense strategy as a necessary measure in a war where state capacity has been stretched to its limits. Under Traoré's leadership, the military has launched aggressive counteroffensives and recaptured some areas previously held by insurgents. Economic independence and resource nationalism. Burkina Faso is rich in gold and other natural resources, yet its population has seen little benefit due to decades of exploitative foreign mining contracts and weak regulatory frameworks. Traoré has vowed to overhaul the mining sector, promising that Burkinabe resources must benefit Burkinabe people. His administration is reviewing contracts with multinational corporations and has emphasized the need to develop local industries. There is also a strong push toward agricultural self-sufficiency, with government programs aimed at empowering farmers and reclaiming food security. Pan-African solidarity and the Sahel Alliance. Captain Ibrahim Traoré has emerged as a key figure in a broader regional movement among Sahel countries to assert independence and resist foreign domination. Alongside Mali's Assimi Goïta and Niger's Abdourahmane Chiani, Traoré helped establish the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, a mutual defense pact that envisions economic integration and collective security. This alliance seeks to counter both terrorist threats and external interventions, while promoting Pan-African unity. In a historic step, the AES countries announced their withdrawal from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, accusing the bloc of serving foreign interests and imposing unjust sanctions. Challenges and criticisms. Despite his popularity, Ibrahim Traoré's leadership is not without controversy. Human rights organizations have reported alleged abuses by state and volunteer forces, including extrajudicial killings and forced displacements. The transitional government has also limited press freedoms and curtailed political dissent, raising concerns about democratic backsliding. Traoré argues that extraordinary measures are necessary in times of war and national crisis. He has promised a return to civilian rule through elections, but no definitive timeline has been established. Critics fear that the transitional regime could become entrenched, as has happened in other military-led governments. A symbol of youth and resistance. At just 34 years old, Ibrahim Traoré is one of the youngest heads of state in the world. He represents a new generation of African leaders who reject the status quo and seek to redefine their country's roles in the global order. His charisma, military background, and radical vision have inspired youth movements not only in Burkina Faso, but across the continent. To many Africans disillusioned with corruption, poverty, and neo-colonialism, Traoré embodies a long-awaited resurgence of African pride and agency. His journey is far from over, and the path ahead is fraught with danger. But for now, he has rekindled a spirit of hope in a nation that had nearly lost it. Conclusion. Rebuilding Burkina Faso is an immense undertaking. It involves more than military victories. It requires healing social divisions, building resilient institutions, and fostering inclusive development. Ibrahim Traoré's leadership is shaping a new chapter in the country's history, one defined by sovereignty, resistance, and the dream of a truly independent Africa. Whether he will succeed remains uncertain, but his bold moves have already shifted the conversation across the Sahel and beyond. Burkina Faso stands at a crossroads. Under Traoré's banner, the people are choosing to fight not just for survival, but for dignity, self-determination, and a future that reflects their own values, not those imposed from abroad. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to help grow the channel. Until next time, see you soon.